Alright guys, we are here to do the weekly wrestling update video. So let's start with Monday Night Raw, where we saw Nature Boy Ric Flair's birthday celebration um, basically be cut short because of a returning Batista who officially challenged Triple H to the match at WrestleMania. There's been speculation going around over 3 months that he had already said no because he had other plans going forward around WrestleMania season. But apparently, Vince McMahon and Batista's agent apparently must have got this figured out for the match to still be able to happen. So the match is officially booked, it sounds like. So that's just another WrestleMania match booked. So should be interesting. I think that match should have happened a few years ago. But hey-oh, whatever. Um, and then competition-wise, match-wise on Raw, I thought that each match was pretty good this week. I also enjoy seeing older wrestlers come back for the Ric Flair birthday celebration, like Sting, and a bunch of other WWE Hall of Famers were there. We get the announcement of the Honky Tonk Man being inducted into the Hall of Fame, the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion in WWE history. That should have happened years ago, honestly, in my opinion. Again, Vince McMahon finally made up his mind he was going to do that, so that's good. Um, I like the fact that we had a returning Roman Reigns, who is now completely healed and his cancer is in remission. So he will be coming back full time, it sounds like, and going into WrestleMania. He might even be wrestling at WrestleMania. It sounds like it might be Baron Corbin. Um, from what I'm hearing all over the wrestling sites. Um, Other than that, Raw honestly was a solid show. I like that they're building towards WrestleMania, and I was pretty surprised with this Batista thing, anyways, because um, I figured he was going to be going into the movies and just sticking with that, not coming back to wrestling because of negotiation issues with WWE. But basically, what's happening is yes, he is officially being booked against Triple H. So that's just another huge match for WrestleMania. Um, so as of right now, the matches that we basically know of, obviously the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, which they always have. Seth Rollins versus Brock Lesnar is a sure. Um, and then Triple H versus Batista is already going to be booked, so that should be pretty good. Um, and I think that Becky Lynch obviously will be coming back to face Charlotte and Ronda Rousey, so that's another match that will be booked. Um, Bailey and Sasha will probably be defending the women's tag team titles. It sounds like either against Nia Jax and Tamina or Alexa Bliss and Mickie James, which would not be too terrible of a match. I think the Iconics should be involved in that, but it's really up to WWE producing. Um, Bruce Pritchard was officially rehired by the WWE this week. He basically is taking Arn Anderson's production job now. Arn Anderson has officially left the company. He was granted his release, which is kind of odd because I thought he would have been part of this Ric Flair being attacked by Batista storyline towards WrestleMania. I thought he would have been involved in this, but as a character. But management apparently does not want to go that route. They bring Bruce Pritchard back into the fold. Now, as we know, the company already had him employed as a producer years ago, before he left for Impact. So I'm not sure how to feel about this because you're bringing in a former employee that you had issues with before. I'm not quite understanding that, WWE, but hey, whatever. Um, Let me think here. They're really pushing Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Wrestling these last few weeks. Tommaso Ciampa actually has an injury that he's dealing with, so we're kind of wondering what that is going to be, whether he's going to be able to wrestle or not right now. Um, I've been pretty impressed with Aleister Black, honestly, and Ricochet. They've been doing a pretty decent job in their matches of late. Um, and the Revival are still Raw Tag Team Champions. I don't see that happening after WrestleMania. I think they're going to be given the WrestleMania match against an opponent. Probably, I wouldn't be surprised if it wouldn't be, well, probably Ricochet and Aleister Black. I could see that match happening, actually. Um, the other option, honestly, would be Gable and Rude. Um, and then you have Heavy Machinery. I mean, Bo Dallas, Axel, and Axel B Team, that could be an option. Um, Either way, they're going to figure it out, though. They're not going to not have a Raw Tag Team Championship match at WrestleMania without figuring it out. Um, I thought the segment with Seth Rollins coming out and after Roman Reigns did his speech and stuff about coming back, um, I thought that was great. Honestly, that was a great moment. Overall, I would give Raw a solid 8. Actually, I think it was a good, decent program. Um, Now, SmackDown this week. So Kofi Kingston comes out to do the contract negotiation in the ring where he was going to sign the contract after Daniel Bryan signed it. Um, and then Vince McMahon comes out and basically says, no, that match is not happening. I have another opponent at the pay-per-view for Daniel Bryan who is supposedly more worthy of this shot. So Kevin Owens comes out. And as we've seen lately, Kevin Owens is basically coming back as a good guy this time, not a heel. So what happened was Kevin Owens basically came out. The New Day were throwing basically a temper tantrum about the whole thing. But again, I like Kofi Kingston. I'm not understanding what's going on in this. Like, if Kofi does not get another rematch, that is a huge travesty, honestly, because he deserves it. Now, if they want to book him and Owens against Bryan at WrestleMania, I'm perfectly fine with that as a triple threat. Or even throw Styles in there. Like, that makes total sense. Have Randy Orton face like a returning, Bray Wyatt or something. That would make total sense too. But again, it's WWE right now, and with new management and production coming in, building towards the switch to Fox broadcasting in the fall, there's a lot of change happening right now, so we don't really understand a lot of this. So the Bar versus the Hardys, actually, the Hardys returned, and I've heard rumors for months now that Matt was going to leave, but they extended his contract for another year. So it sounds like the Hardys will be at WrestleMania. They will be facing. It sounds like either The Miz or Shane McMahon or the Usos. Or it could be a situation where you have three tag teams in a ladder match or something. Um, and maybe Styles would face Randy Orton. And Bray Wyatt might not even be involved in WrestleMania. We don't know right now. Um, and Then there's R-Truth. He had a pretty good match this week, Open Challenge, where he defended his United States Championship against Andrade and Rey Mysterio. I thought that match was really entertaining. I love the segment at the beginning when he came out and he said that his idol was John Cena. The crowd just laughed uncontrollably because, sorry, John John Cena is the same age as R-Truth. So that was just hilarious with that segment. I was laughing my ass off when they did that. Um, so if John Cena is healthy and coming back from his foot injury before WrestleMania, I would not be surprised if we don't get John Cena versus R-Truth for the United States Championship, which I think would actually be a great thing for WrestleMania, honestly, if they decide to do that. Um, and Andrade versus Ray, I think, would be a great match for Mania as well if they wanted to do that. Um, but the Rusev and Nakamura versus, I think it was Ricochet and Aleister Black, yes. Um, there wasn't too much to that match. I thought it would have lasted a little bit longer. Um, Again, Aleister Black hits his finisher on Nakamura and pins him. And so, yeah, that didn't really last very long. Um, then we get a Lana sighting, which we haven't really seen her around them that much. Um, it sounds like she's really trying to push Rusev and Nakamura as a tag team, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense because they don't like one another. But again, hopefully this new production will be better going into the fall with booking matches because that segment didn't make too much sense. Um, the commentary I thought was actually pretty good on both shows this week. Not so much arguing with one another, just getting straight to the point. And The segment with Charlotte Flair demanding the women's championship. I think we could have done without that. Um, couldn't understand why she didn't show up to Raw for her father's birthday celebration. That was kind of odd. Also, I didn't see her there. But anywho, um, so we'll get into Double or Nothing AEW. There was another match announced. The Bucks versus the Lucha Bros. Which should be a one hell of a competition, honestly. One of the best tag team matches I could see this in this year, frankly. That rivalry should be really good. Also, AEW news. They've officially signed Summer Rae to their women's roster. So that should be another indie indie star and former WWE diva as well. So that should be somebody who they can, help build their women's division around as well. Let me see here. I don't have too much news on Ring of Honor right now. I know that they're building towards another huge pay-per-view coming up soon. I don't know really too much about it right now. I'll have to look a little bit more in depth with that. As far as Impact, it sounds like they're building towards this huge pay-per-view that we'll see Rob Van Dam and Sabu return. And I'm all for that. I like to see Van Dam and Sabu wrestle again. It's been a long time. Um, they're building a few other matches for the card. And yeah, I think that it should be a good event for Impact. I know switching to a new network, a lot of people were kind of upset with that. Um, they have other people involved backstage now who are helping the programming to make matches a little bit more interesting. Um, I'm a little intrigued with what they're doing with Dark Alley and Rosemary right now. Um, and the title situation is pretty interesting for the World Championship. The tag team division is pretty decent. Um, so yeah, I think that we're in a good spot right now with professional wrestling. Things are starting to kind of come together for these pay-per-view events, and I think WrestleMania should be pretty decent this year.